Today on CityCastDenver, hey, what's up? Welcome to the Friday News Roundup. We're talking about downtown. The 16th Street Mall has a new name. It's not that different. We'll talk about it. Also, Memorial Day weekend. What are you going to do? And our wins and fails of the week. Today is Friday, May 23rd. I'm Paul Karolyi, and here's what Denver's talking about. Welcome back to CityCastDenver, the show about the city that looks like it's on the verge of eliminating minimum parking requirements. But no matter what happens, there'll always be a place for your 2013 Suburban in our hearts.
2013 Suburban.
Yeah.
Paul's really starting off with a hot topic.
It is a hot topic. I think it's interesting.
Minimums.
I predicted it would pass easily. I think it's going to. It still looks like it's going to breeze through.
Can you give the too long didn't read of what parking minimums is? Because it's very confusing to me.
Yeah, it's like when new developers build apartment buildings, do they have to build a certain amount of parking spaces into the building?
And currently, you have to build a certain amount.
There's a minimum
Okay.
amount. Soon there will be no minimum.
City Council wants to get rid of it.
They may choose to still build them, should they please.
That's what I'm waiting to see, because developers are going to do what they think the market wants, whether zoning or, not. So,
yeah, but you shouldn't have zoning to force developers. Like, the market should to they should, if there's a need for it, the demand is going to create the supply. Right.
Yeah, should. Who knows? I mean, what the role of government is to help us make better decisions and appeal to our better angels. And if our better angels...
That's not even that true. Like, they have single family only housing zoning all over the city, which hurts everybody in Denver,
This
and
is
helps
hot
a very
topic.
few.
I know. I was
Damn, we're going to fight about parking right off the bat.
Yeah, I just like zoning could...
Our urbanists right now are like,
All right, well, let's get to this show here, because we'll talk about parking probably a little bit more later on.
Sure.
We're coming to you on video here at the beautiful 5280. The beautiful Dude IDK Studios in 5 Points. My mistake. Bree Davies is with me.
I'm here.
Hey, Bree.
Hey, Bree.
Hi, I'm sometimes the host also.
Joining us from the couch.
Yeah, I've told people.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have a great guest today, one of our favorites. He's a stand-up comedian, an actor, a filmmaker, and our man inside Casa Bonita.
That's right.
Welcome back to the show, Joshua Emerson.
That's me. My name's Joshua, and I love you.
Wow.
Is that too much?
I
knew I was gonna blow it. I think you're really cool.
You're an I love you man. Okay.
I love bomb.
All right, so we got a little bit of business before our main topic here, which I can't wait to get into. Number one, no new episode on Monday. It's Memorial Day weekend. We're not doing a new episode for you. We're taking a break.
Yep.
That's right. We're on some 40s.
We hope
the
you
old
are
service
too.
members.
Second is an update from last week's episode on Friday, where we talked to Ian Tafoya about the Waste No More recycling and composting mandate that the city is negotiating. They're maybe doing some exceptions, including for restaurants. I heard back from the folks at the Colorado Restaurant Association after that conversation, because I had said that they had no comment at the time. And they do have a comment now. They said, while we know that many restaurants generally support recycling and composting efforts, we're worried about the availability of service providers and the administrative burden and cost to Denver businesses of all sizes, who are already stretched beyond belief. That said, we appreciate the mayor's office's willingness to exempt smallest restaurants, and we hope City Council will support the exemption too. So,
no comment.
As I expected, here is their comment. As I expected, they do want the exemption for restaurants. We know that's been tough lately. Yeah. So many restaurants. Breakfast Inn announced they're closing. Yet another breakfast place this week.
I know. That was one from my childhood for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Why does Denver hate breakfast places?
Why does Denver hate diners? I don't know.
Yeah.
We are in dire need of them, and we really don't want them to be in business.
I really like the Breakfast King when that closed down. That one was tough because there's really not. I love it. We've talked about this before. A 24-hour diner is one of my favorite places.
Crossroads,
the Rye and the Hang.
Crossroads of the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see every kind of person at a diner.
Yeah, you see cops,
really
you see construction workers, you see
punks,
dancers. Yeah,
kids,
exactly. Yeah.
People out after the club.
Everybody just eating eggs.
I love that place. So good.
All right. Time for our top story.
Oh,
I can't wait to talk about this. We actually broke this story last year.
Yeah, that's
We had
true.
this first
The Downtown Denver Partnership told us this information last year.
They told us they were considering it, which is interesting because they've talked about an 18-month-long process to make this decision. And we knew a year ago that this was in the works. And they had basically, it sounded like, already basically made the decision. But now it's official. There's a big press conference, and now people are having feelings about it all over the city. The mayor announced the latest initiative to bring downtown back to life. The official name of 16th Street Mall is now 16th Street.
Revolutionary.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Just mind-bending work on the part of whatever consulting firm snaked $100,000 out of the DDP.
So
nice work.
I mean, that's the win of the week. It's the London and New York City-based firm DNCO.
I don't
shout out to them. Congrats.
DNCO, like
DNCO.
Denco. But it's not a Denver company.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
I would say they didn't go far enough. You know what I mean? Instead of just like 16th Street, why not just call it like 16th? Or, you know, or why not just even call it like the 1-6, you know? Going through the 1-6 with my woes. Like, I
giving us Gucci Mane here?
Well, I mean, that was Drake, but like, it's, I hate it. I hate.
I got a lot of texts from people, especially old Denver folks, who hate it.
Yes.
Hate it. And we're mad, frankly.
Well, because it feels like waste. It feels like a lot of money was given to people that are annoying to hang out with, but that like have
to drop one word.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Well, specifically when we're talking about the money went from the Downtown Denver Partnership, which is a business group.
Well, who funds them?
That is one way to
businesses downtown. That it is a tax that these businesses have agreed to pay to support this organization, to support the business environment downtown. They also fund things like security and trees, and
they also back ballot measures and things that city council does. They have a lot of power in the city.
It's very powerful. They're very well funded.
That shouldn't be.
But they're powerful because downtown is a business center, a place where a lot of people spend money. That's where they get their money. So this group. I mean, I just felt like this week everyone was like, "Oh, what a waste of money! The city shouldn't be spending on this." But the city wasn't spending on this. This is a group of businesses that are making a decision to brand themselves to what they think is their best advantage.
I think it just gets confusing for folks because it's intertwined with the city, and the city presents this information all the time. So people do assume that it's tax money. Whether or not it's tax money, it does feel like a waste of money. If they want to waste their money on that, I guess that's fine. But I think also it was just like, this is what you paid for?
Yeah. And
that part is just what it is.
But Paul, think about the businesses on 16th Street who have closed during this massive $175 million renovation. I would be pissed. I'd be like, you couldn't kick me $10,000 to keep my business open for 3 more months or whatever.
Yeah.
But you guys can spend $100,000 to get some firm in wherever to drop this mall part because it's not the 80s anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Just feels like, I don't know. I'd be pissed if I was a business, is all I'm saying. And you pay into those. You're a business that pays
they're
into
they're paying for the right for this.
You may have been a business that went out of business that paid for the DDP to make that decision.
I'm still pretty confused in terms of like what's the grand plan of revitalizing 16th Street Mall. Like,
I think if they just say it, they keep saying
it's going to happen. Yeah. I don't think it is. It's like, stop trying to make fetch happen. You know, like Colfax, like there's a lot of like, you understand what you can put money back into that will like come.
My favorite parallel.
Yeah. Whereas like 16th Street Mall, like what you need is pavilions to have like legit like 7 companies decide that it's a good idea to invest into that space.
It's an outdoor dead mall.
Exactly. And so it's just like you need so much buy-in from non-governmental entities, from private companies that see 16th Street Mall as a viable place to make a lot of money, or you need to create a larger residential population downtown, and like changing the name from 16th Street Mall to 16th does neither of those things.
I think they made this announcement, but they didn't connect it with enough of the other things that they're working on.
Right.
Like, but they did say some of this stuff. Like they are working on residential in that central business district, the end of 16th Street Mall that's closer to the Capitol building. I was a presentation of the downtown 20-year plan the other night. And that was a big focus for them, is like, we need more residential, and it needs to be more variety of residential. So it's not just 20-somethings who live in studios and 1-bedrooms downtown.
Family.
It needs to be a broader, more varied, thriving neighborhood with more diversity of all kinds. But the pavilions point is interesting, because one of the things they said at this press conference was what I thought was interesting. This is actually from Denverite. They said, in the coming months, vacant storefronts will be brought to life with 3D installations. I don't know what that means. That's weird.
What?
More than 20 new patios will be installed by the end of the summer, and the city plans to open common consumption areas near Glenarm Place where people can drink to-go alcohol.
I love to go.
This is the pavilions plan.
This is wild to me, because just a couple blocks over, Lodo is an absolute nightmare at let out. Can you imagine if they were like, hey, you can drink outside in Lodo, in the Lodo part of it?
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what draws people, I guess, but I wouldn't want
It is fun to go from like one bar, like get a drink and then leave. You know, I like that.
There's a reason that Denver hasn't done that yet, because we're not very good at drinking. Maybe we're too good at drinking is part of the problem.
I know some people who are pretty good at it.
I was too good, which is why I don't drink anymore. But like, I just feel like we haven't handled it well. So it would be interesting to see how we handle this.
Just imagine for a second the pavilions.
Yes.
It's currently empty. They're doing this. They're trying to make open consumption to attract businesses, to make it easier. They can make more money because this is a draw for them. They think they could sell more alcohol if people can drink it outside.
They will.
They will. Isn't that kind of a nice vision for the pavilions? Like,
just a bunch of drunk tourists.
Yeah, I was like, is that a nice vision? No.
A nightlife, a bar area. This is like a destination for partying.
An art center or a film center, personally. That would be cooler, but
it is interesting. To me, it's like you need a mixture of tourists and a mixture of people that live downtown that understand that people make a culture. And those two buildings down that lost all the equity because of COVID and people not coming back, they're being converted into residential. And
that's what one developer said, but we have talked to an expert who said that's really difficult to do. I saw this story a couple weeks ago.
The residential conversions.
The residential conversions, and I just thought, okay, is anyone going to ask him how to do it? Because we talked about this. The infrastructure inside one of those buildings is tough to convert from office to living, because it doesn't have ventilation and windows and
plumbing.
Like
you
really
do
basics.
A lot of rough-in plumbing to create showers and sinks and toilets where there aren't any.
So it remains to be seen. But
it's very
I agree.
Expensive.
But those views are amazing.
Oh, killer views,
right? And
God, the views!
And then you're able to like as a part of the investment in that, you can sort of create a this very tall luxury building. I still think it's worth doing. I'm people make a place, and if there's no people downtown, I don't care what you call it, it's gonna suck.
Yeah. I'm with you, though. The balance of tourists and locals, I just don't see that open consumption thing being necessarily attractive to locals. It feels like a thing that like, I don't want to go down there because that's where all the tourists are.
Yeah.
Feels like.
But if you are downtown, like you have Lodo, you have like Union Station, and you have 16th Street Mall. 16th Street Mall really feels like for the tourists. There's nothing north of 16th Street Mall though. That like in terms of hanging out, there's like
there's a lot of surface parking lots,
right?
And then the other thing is, as I was biking over here, because I've been living down near Union Station, I was biking along Welton, and I mean, I think we're going to talk about this a lot, but there's this proposal to remove the L line. I think that might actually be a huge unlock for downtown too, because those L line stations, the light rail stations, are really big, really underutilized.
We're going to talk about
and there's parking lots around them, and there's some big empty spaces that are just like kind of hostile in that part of downtown.
Yeah, it didn't get used the way that people imagine it to be being used. That's for sure with the L line.
Yeah. The other thing that people say is a big unlock is this single stair reform at the state level. You know, to be able to build different kinds of buildings with only one stairwell instead of two, to be able to fill in some of these lots that haven't been developed. People are excited about that at the city.
I feel like more of those need to be built so people can see what it means. Because initially it doesn't. Because initially I was like, I'm a little bit like, they're not accessible. So that's my concern. But I also think about the first building I lived in Capitol Hill, which was just a 2-story brick building on the park that would be one of those buildings just with one stair, and it was a great building. So
yeah. The last part for me when I think about this is the redevelopment of Ball Arena in that area, and then connecting that into downtown. I think that's going to be huge, and it's not coming from like fully paid from tax dollars. It's coming from this idea that Ball Arena or the Kroenkes, they own all that land and they want to make it more valuable. You know what I mean? So it's like I understand what the economic drivers are there and sort of what the end game is because they've sort of thought it out.
Yeah, and I mean, I mentioned this 20-year plan, but we'll talk about that more next week. I'm going to talk to Patty Calhoun, who was at the meeting with me, but there's some specific ideas. I want to talk about one other piece of this because we haven't addressed it.
The Denver Way?
The Denver Way.
Denver Way?
So it's not just dropping the mall. They have, in an effort to be less confusing, they have given this strip a second name as well, a secondary nickname. It's 16th Street,
Can you
aka
imagine saying that out loud?
The Denver Way.
Joking? Not just like go ahead, Paul.
I just don't know how they're going to use this. You just can't tell people what to call something, really. Like,
especially not that dumbass Denver Way. That's crazy.
Our friend Colfax Things Ashley posted like, why not the Colfax Way? And when you say the Colfax Way, there's definitely a connotation there of what the Colfax Way means. And I think that's just like the great difference here is like Colfax has a personality.
Right.
Colfax has lore. Colfax has it has a feeling. You say the Denver Way downtown, it's like, what?
I do yoga and also eat edibles. Like, what is the Denver Way? Like I can complain about how there's no good men. Or eat edibles
and go to the museum.
That's true. Know. Exactly. Like, am I rock climbing? Am I like complaining about the lack of IPAs? Am I complaining about?
That's the Denver Way, baby.
I think you got it.
There's no good men to date in Denver. Like, what is the Denver Way?
I'm curious what that. I just want to be. I wish I was kind of in that room when they unveiled it. And
the Denver Way.
The Denver Way.
This is paying people's mortgages. Like, that's crazy. This is
Good
a
for
grift.
Them. It's a great grift. Honestly, consulting in general, amazing grift. We should all get into
absolutely, man.
Comedy consulting, you could do it.
I could. Hey, if you guys need somebody at your corporate company and you want to give me $100,000, I'll tell you to drop a noun in your name. Okay.
But also, I will just say, for the annoyance and indignance that old Denverites are, this will be now a period marker for a person who's been here for a certain amount of time. We'll always still call it, just like people still call it Mile High, or, it'll always be the mall. So sorry, you will never catch me saying 16th Street, the Denver Way.
Well, you've been talking about old Denver and the mall, but there was a story in Westward about the previous era, which kind of changed my thinking on this. Really? It was about how before it was the 16th Street Mall, which was unveiled in 1982, it was just 16th Street. And the way it got changed was there was this proposal that maybe we have this pedestrian artery, and no one liked it. Retailers hated it because they thought they would lose business. But the thing that changed it was when RTD got involved. Ooh. And RTD saw potential for starting a transit network. This is an article by Alan Prendergast in Westward.
Great investigative reporter.
RTD had a tough time selling auto-loving Denverites on mass transit, but the agency's poobahs correctly perceived that a pedestrian mall with a shuttle service could be the first link in a metro-wide system of transit projects, especially if you had terminals at both ends. So when they got federal funding for that, property owners and retailers were gradually won over to the idea that the mall would ease congestion, improve business, and spur redevelopment of the street's more dilapidated blocks.
You've got to read the rest
of that. Isn't that funny?
It is interesting. I found that piece so cool because it took me back to a time that I didn't exist in Denver to see what it looked. He describes it so beautifully. These theaters, old movie palaces, like all these old grand department stores that don't exist anymore, and how that felt. And also then bringing in I.M. Pei, this world-renowned architect, to design the mall. He had this beautiful building, the hyperbolic paraboloid at the end of the building, and then there was the Skyline Park at the other end. It did that original vision to me made a little bit more sense, but a lot of that has been just demolished or taken out, and like now it's just like maybe it's because you took all the character away is why the mall kind of sucks. But it's we'll put a link. That's such a great way to see the mall from the beginning. Love that story.
One last thing before we move on. I have to claim victory on one thing. One of my big ideas that I suggested for 16th Street Mall back when we had a brainstorming show was to roll out the red carpet for Biker Gym and get the hot dog carts back on the mall. And this was a piece of the announcement at the press conference. The partnership is promoting low barrier to entry opportunities for vendors who want to offer retail services or food carts and kiosks.
I would love to see Biker Gym come back.
That's right. Let's bring back some buskers too. All right. Let's make a lower barrier to get a permit to perform on those places. Let's make it easier. Let's make some outdoor venues out there, just some like real DIY. They've done it before in the past, but it really should be a part of it. Like, you want the energy. You want people like diving over 5 people. You know what I mean? Like, just
the things that you see in other big cities in spaces like this, like Pike Place Market I've talked about before. I think they have a permitting system there as well. But the naturally occurring entertainment, and I mean, New York City, I don't know, there's this Instagram account, What is New York? You should follow it if you want to. It just like reminds you like, oh, that's actually what a big city looks like and what's happening all the time. But like that naturally occurring entertainment and interaction on the street. And like, I feel like sometimes in a project like this, they're trying to force it. You cannot force it. You can't curate it. It has to curate itself.
Right.
You know, it reminds me of the problem with First Friday on Santa Fe, how they've kind of outgrown it. Like the wild, the DIY vendors that have set up, they're they're blocking the sidewalk. It's not ADA accessible. There's tons of space on 16th Street. I wonder if those people could just be like lured or somehow recreate that feeling to create that regular event that locals would want to go to, like First Friday on 16th Street.
Well, the low barrier thing, maybe get some galleries in there. Yeah. Maybe get some studio spaces in there.
I mean, really think you're onto something with the art piece. Like artists and galleries, like that would be something to get regular, sort of like locals there.
With the pavilions, throw a coffee shop in there or a late night, put a bar in there as well, but also put, you know, things for people to do and see.
Also like a smaller venue up there in the pavilions too, like something that isn't like huge, you know, like where the Paramount is.
A multi-purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
But the Coyote Ugly stays, right? We agree. The Coyote Ugly stays.
It's the last.
It stays. Don't come for the Coyote
I got
Ugly.
86 from as a drunk. So
is that
I
true?
had a special place in my heart. I would love for it to stay.
Yeah.
I put $20 in the jukebox and only played Billy Joel songs and took my shoes off when they made me leave. But, you know, I want it to be there for other people.
Yeah, there's a lot of men getting divorced. You know what I mean? And
they need a place
every day.
too.
But also it kind of is one of those symbols like the Cheesecake Factory where you're like, this is a weird corporate thing, but we kind of love it.
It's yes.
It's a little bit of, it's us now. We have ownership. I feel that over the Cheesecake Factory's become old Denver.
It's been,
people are going to get super mad that I say that, but
they're wrong. They're wrong.
Treated that.
It's important.
I have fond memories from high school of going to like fancy dinner there.
Yeah.
It's very fun. I met the Guardian Angels outside when they used to wander the mall.
Yeah, no, Cheesecake Factory has a big market in like high schoolers that don't know what fancy food is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I've always said this.
And you know what? Teenagers need more places to hang out. So
true.
Let's make them all more friendly to them.
All right. Well, we want to hear from you too. Like I said, we're going to be talking about this next week, the longer term vision for 16th Street and downtown. We want to hear your thoughts on the rebrand. Honestly, just the rebrand. Tell us what you think about dropping the mall. Is it still a mall? Are you still going to call it the mall? What do you think? 720-500-5418 is the number to call. Leave us a voicemail. Send us a text. 720-500-5418.
Because I know you have opinions.
Yes. We know you do. I've seen a lot of them. We're going to go to a break. We're going to come back, talk about Memorial Day weekend. All right, we're back. It's a big travel weekend coming up. 443,000 people are expected to pass through DIA, according to Axios Denver. We talked about 16th Street, the summer festivities. There's going to be a DJ on Monday at the Skyline Park, some guy named Fisher, who's apparently a big
Fisher's going to be there?
Paul, you've never sounded more like a dad. Some guy named Fisher. And Paul's going to be there.
That's right.
I think I am going to stop by. I want to see what the hype's about with this guy.
Keeping people off his lawn.
But at the press conference when they were I think it was Courtney Garrett from the Downtown Denver Partnership was like, and on Monday we got a DJ. Fisher is going to be there. A lot of people are excited, and then you could hear just the woos of presumably DDP employees being like, "Yeah."
I was like, maybe not the audience.
No one knew who this person was.
Yeah, it's not the audience for Fisher.
Anyway, so there's lots of options, but producer Olivia Jewel Love and I cooked up our own top 5 list of ways to enjoy a Memorial Day weekend here in Denver this weekend.
Okay.
So I'm going to read a list. We can talk about some of this stuff. Some ideas for your weekend.
Cool.
Number 5. Ready?
Oh.
Number 5. You can head up to Winter Park to ride the gondola up and down the mountain and imagine what it would be like on 16th Street.
Wildly one of our more contentious shows that I did not expect to be so contentious. The gentleman we talked to about his dream for building a gondola on the 16th Street Mall.
I'm anti-gondola.
Why?
It's too much money for not enough bang.
Okay, that's fair.
Thank you.
I agree with folks.
I saw some people.
What kind of bang did you want out of it?
It's just so much money for something that
we already see how the 16th Street Mall ride takes you. It's like, it's not
you need
some
16th
crazy
Street
trip.
to already be cool. It's not cool yet. And you can't do this auxiliary stuff until the thing that is built around is cool, And so,
well, the gondola.
Well, he thinks this is cool. I think some people think it's really cool. Some people are so into the gondola idea.
Oh, people that like gondolas are nerds. Can I put that out there? I've had one bad take, one mean take on these.
Yeah, you went after
recordings.
vegans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Now you're going after nerds?
People who like gondolas.
No, I love nerds. I'm just saying people that like
nerds.
gondolas are nerds. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I see where it fits in the mountains. I would go do that. I don't think I want it on the 16th Street Mall, just taking up so much space.
I feel like his idea was like too expansive with the gondola. Like a whole network on every street is like, I don't want gondolas everywhere in my eye line.
It just sounded like a giant piece that would be a junker in like 20 years, and everybody just looks at it like, God, remember when they put this shit
Wow,
in?
they all smell like piss,
In beer.
Yeah.
That part I like.
One gondola line from like Cherry Creek to downtown or like downtown to Low-High, I don't know. I'm not totally opposed to the idea.
Would have made more sense.
A long spear could be
The
something.
I like L's. But L's are so much cooler than gondolas.
What is L's?
That's in Chicago. It's their elevated train system.
The L, sure.
Yeah, like an elevated light rail is way cooler than a gondola.
That would take actual investment maybe in transit, and that's a tough one for us.
That's right. But you have an elevated light rail like going up along Spear. That's beautiful. I mean, you got views of the mountain,
Mm-hmm. All right, number 4. The number 4 best way to spend your Memorial Day weekend in Denver. The city just passed tough new regulations on e-scooter companies. Could lead to real enforcement, but they don't go into effect in July. So what you could do this weekend is hop on a Lime, zip around downtown, and for the last time, without fear of any consequences at all, chuck that scooter in the creek. Enjoy. You can do that.
Finally.
Just go zipping down those sidewalks and try to knock somebody out who's coming out of a bar that doesn't know you're coming. Why not?
Oh man, I use scooters. I'm pro scooter because I'm a responsible scooter owner. Like when there's people on a sidewalk, like I know not to I yell, get out the way. No, I don't.
This is the guidelines. The specific guideline is yell at them. This is the recommendation.
Hi. All land is native land.
I love that we're recommending one last joyride and ditching into the Cherry Creek.
Of course. It's a tradition.
If everybody
fill
that
up our
listens
waterway.
throws one Lime scooter into the creek, that would be a huge environmental problem.
But it's also a jobs driver. Someone has to take those out.
We're creating jobs.
We're job creators.
Taking
That's
out
what I
scooters.
do.
All right, the number 3 best way to spend your Memorial Day weekend. You could visit the conference room up on top of Lookout Mountain where City Council held its secluded budget retreat, and you can look for clues about just how bad sales tax revenues are looking this year.
3 people were big mad that City Council met in a lodging facility outside of the city.
Well, they should get elected. All right. How about that? Run a successful campaign and maybe you can
go have a meeting for 16 hours in a building on Lookout Mountain.
That's right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If only there was a gondola, you could get up to Lookout Mountain. How about that?
It looked like a beautiful space, though. I don't think I've ever
is
been
Lookout
there.
Mountain where Buffalo Bill is buried?
It is, yeah.
Oh, okay. I just want to make
All right, number 2. The number 2 best way to celebrate Memorial Day weekend here in Denver is another last chance. Here, you could head over to the Diamond Cabaret for what could be one last dance before the auditor has the strip club shut down for wage theft.
I'm just thinking about I don't remember which account it was. There's like an urbanist on Instagram who like talks about different lots in Denver and what they're doing. And they just took the Diamond Cabaret and were like, Diamond Cabaret might close. What else could we put there? And I was like, damn, let them have their time first. I know. I was like, people actually still work there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I don't know. I mean, go there and tip it nice and be nice.
It's true.
If you want to go in and be really nice and tip well and not be a creep, go do that. Please.
I don't know. I like being a creep in Glendale. You know what I mean?
It is for creeps.
I reserve
Glendale's
Denver
for
being
creeps.
a human person. All right.
You go to the overpriced dispensary at Shotguns,
yeah,
and then you go into Shotguns, and then you act like a creep.
It is kind of nice that there's a little oasis, a little place where you can go and be your let your id loose.
John Morant went there. All right. That's special.
We watched the surveillance video and then talked about how Shannon Sharp talked about it because he used to go there too when he was a Bronco.
That's what I'm saying. For legal reasons, I'm a creep in Glendale. All right. So.
Is it just, but wait, is it just shotguns now? Because I don't think there's a PTs anymore. I think it's the only strip
club
left
in town.
Yeah, because
Dandy Dan's.
No, I mean in Glendale.
Oh, in Glendale.
Dandy Dan's is
alive and well.
Alive and well.
I mean,
their
there's
security lights shine right in my living room.
There's like 5 in the city. I don't know. There's just not that many of these places.
There used to be more. And Glendale used to just be full of 3-2 bar clubs for 18 and up.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could go there and drink 3-2 beer if you're 18.
I went there. They had a 3-2 bar in Idaho when we were doing comedy, and it was a bunch of 16-year-olds all around me.
What's the vibe?
I hated it. I was like, I could see your boyfriend that's 24 right now. This sucks. Anyways.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what the regulations around the 3-2 bars for with the age cap, but interesting idea.
All right, the number one way to celebrate Memorial Day weekend here in Denver, you can go shopping at the second worst grocery store in America, according to that list in Westward a couple weeks ago. It's in Green Valley Ranch, the King Soopers, and you can give the employees a hug.
Oh,
wow. Just really do that community service.
I thought the unsafe way would be higher up. You know what I mean? But
yeah, apparently Green Valley Ranches just still gets worse Yelp reviews.
That's not a surprise.
By the way, we looked at this, Joshua. The people who made that list, it was a company they offer solitaire online. That's the thing that made the list of worst grocery stores.
That's the high profile company that
solitaire free sell online website for games.
Clicks are clicks. All right.
True.
That's ridiculous.
You know that clicks are clicks.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that. I respect their
game.
I'm
on this video right now.
Hey guys, consider being a partner or neighborhood friend, ally.
A CityCastDenver neighbor. Membership.citycast.fm is the place to sign up. You get ad-free listening. You get access to special members-only events.
Of course.
And one of them might be coming up very soon. If you sign up today, as you hear this on Friday, you might be able to join it.
You should.
Because there might be something happening this weekend.
What?
Maybe.
But you only know if you're a member.
The actual secret best way to celebrate
neighbor.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. Well, I'll be cleaning out my basement, so take some extra days off.
You want to watch Bree clean out her basement?
Become a member today.
Come on, let the live stream.
Special
I'll do a live
bonus stream. Yeah.
Of me and my husband fighting over what we need to throw away. Sounds great.
You have 3 versions of this record.
Oh my God. You have 3 boxes of this record, actually.
All right. Well, that's Memorial Day weekend. We're going to go for one more break and come back with our Rocky Mountain highs and lows of the week. All right, we're back. It's time for the best way to end a week. Rocky Mountain highs and lows, a.k.a. wins and fails. Each of us brought a recent local something, and we're going to talk about them. Fails first. Joshua, you want to start us off with a fail?
Yeah, tornadoes. Oh my gosh, so rude. Very mean to poor people. And you know what? We've been having a lot of tornadoes out on the edges, and they look cool, and you're like, oh, let me go look at them. And then they touch ground, and you're like, I'm dying in a circle.
I'm still taking a video of it.
Yeah. It just, I'm anti-tornado. I'm not afraid to say it.
Brave.
Okay?
Wow.
You know?
No, that's really scary.
They're scary.
Truly. I haven't done.
We have
I
no
was thinking
basements.
about it. We do. I mean, I remember hiding in the basement when I was a kid during a tornado warning. So.
Classic Midwestern memory.
Excuse me, this is the West, but we'll not get into that.
Bree, how about your fail?
Well, I have 2 restaurant related. One is El Noa Noa officially closed. It has been closed since January. So those of us that loved El Noa Noa for 45 years didn't get a chance to go and have one last meal there. They had great service. They had great food. Bittersweet. El Chingon is moving in there. I've only been once and had a terrible experience. But
Oh, really?
Yes,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, really an awful experience as a customer. But I'm going to give it another chance because this is the restaurant that's going to be on Santa Fe. And they did promise to keep the patio as is. I drove by today. They painted the whole building black, which kind of bummed me out. But the patio, they said they're not going to touch the trees. They're not going to touch any of that. So
the water feature?
Yeah, the water feature. So hopefully all that will still be there. I'll give it another chance. I'm just sad that we didn't get to say goodbye to El Noa Noa. It's where my husband had his first burrito. We have to talk about
his first burrito
as a child, as a toddler.
Oh, okay.
As a toddler, because he grew up in Baker, and
as a 31-year-old man.
No, no, but it's like every time we went there, his parents would be like, "Did you know this is where?"
No, I totally get that.
Burrito?
I 100% get that. One of the reasons why I feel so strongly about Chipotle is it's the first place I had a pinto bean.
See?
Really?
Yeah.
That's Canadian. That's Canadian.
I know.
It is.
It was a very special thing for me.
That's right.
And then my other sort of bummer is there was a local food influencer that absolutely trashed Chef Zorba's this week.
Oh.
And acted like it was a James Beard level restaurant, like reviewing it as such. And it said it had felt like nursing home food. It was the rudest, meanest thing. And I will just say, speaking of nursing home food, during the pandemic, Chef Zorba's did a buy a meal, give a meal program where if you bought a meal, they paid for a meal to go out into the community to seniors living in the Congress Park neighborhood. So they're this wonderful restaurant. Also, they're a haven for the gay community, both customers and employees. And it's just been an LGBTQ space forever. And it's one of my favorite restaurants. So please go to Chef Zorba's. It is not, you're not going to get 5-star food. It's a diner.
Yeah, it's good value. Prices, good prices, good food.
Love,
I like
please.
Jell-O, you know.
They might actually have, I don't think they have Jell-O, but they might. I don't know. They have delicious desserts. I'll say that. They have baklava. They have all these great cakes and cookies. Amazing. And great service. So go give Chef Zorba some love. But Paul, what's your fill?
I was thinking about doing El Noa Noa because I also love El Noa Noa, and I'm a little bit nervous about the new owners. Although the patio is the special thing. So,
it is.
I mean, if the food is very bad, though, I won't go.
I didn't have. I had a bad experience. I will just say it wasn't necessarily about the food, and so that's why. But it's different food. It's different food from El Noa Noa. So just expect something different.
Well, my fail this week goes to Scott Shamblin, the executive director of Colorado Right to Life, because and he was a big opponent of the Kelly Loving Act, which was this bill that the state legislature passed into law that extended new protections for trans people, including making dead naming discriminatory in public accommodations like workplaces and schools. Very important thing for our trans neighbors. So he launched this website that he says satirizes the new law, and the Denver Post reported on it. They didn't say the website. I actually think we should because it's deceptive. You go to this website and it looks like a place where you can report like issues. Like if you've been dead named at school or work, there's a phone number you can call. I called it, and there's no satire. There's nothing funny about it. It doesn't look like. It's very deceptive. It's just like
tricking you into giving them information.
Exactly. Well, that's what some people say. He says. It's horrible what he says. He says it's a satire. He says, as for the theoretical possibility that he would publish any of the responses, he said he would scrub users' information prior to posting.
Why even collect it then, bro?
I know. It's just like, what is the point? It's just a very confusing idea that just seems like it's only meant to hurt people.
Well, yeah. Also satirizing civil rights protections. Yeah. Dude, that's a dark place you're in, my friend. If you're designing a website to potentially harm people who are already extremely marginalized, like what?
Who's the market that he's trying to hit right now? Like who
racists,
right.
Weird closeted people, people that just hate gay people for no reason. I mean,
then it's not satire. Then it's just like hate speech. It's another way to be mean and to bully. And so
I mean, also I would imagine any trans person is not going to just willingly give their information to anyone at this point.
Yeah.
But even the attempt.
Well, some people apparently have. The Denver Post reported that some people have been calling in. That's part of why this is a problem, is because it started circulating within the trans community and people were using it as if it was an official or like some kind of like service to help people.
Well, I think we should just all go bomb it and like just call it 1,000,000 times. Yeah. Just let our leave. Yeah.
Anyway, I think I'm going to say the name of the website because I want people to not use it. It's reportdeadnaming.com.
Oh,
I don't think you should know that that's the site. If you see that site, if you get directed to that site, it's this guy who opposed this act, Scott Shamblin. That's his website. The real place to report concerns, according to the Post, is the state's Civil Rights Division at ccrd.colorado.gov.
Yeah, I'm like, go to a state website or the ACLU or some other organ if you're looking for help in some capacity. Yeah,
well, the ACLU is going to have a complicated perspective on this because they defend free speech at all costs. They're pretty hard line on that. And free speech is one of the parts of this that's complicated. Yeah,
for sure.
It isn't satire though. You know
it's a terrible excuse.
Know what satire means.
That exactly like doing stuff that makes people angry isn't what satire is. It's like I don't know.
It's a creep and collecting information under a false premise is not.
It's not even like a good bit. You know what I mean? No, it's not even like an offensive thing that like you understand like where the comedy's coming from. It's just it's mean all the way around.
Yeah. It's I suspect that it was a late night idea, and he's now covering his ass.
A late night idea that took how long to? I mean, not that it takes you forever to create a website, but you got to put some time into it.
That's right. It's a Squarespace.
It is a Squarespace. I was on there this morning.
He doesn't have any friends to like run that by and be like, bro, don't. That seems bad.
Like, why are you doing it though? Like, what do you want people to call in and do exactly? Like, what?
Just another thing that comes out of the male loneliness epidemic right here.
Could you talk to them?
Hey, why don't you listen? Just come out. I don't know. Just hang out. Just fucking
come out of your basement.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about wins. Let's talk about some fun stuff. Bree, do you want to start with a win?
Sure. This announcement that they're going to slim down part of Alameda to, I think, 1 lane on each side for 12 blocks between Logan and Franklin. So it's to slow down traffic. I'm only upset that they aren't doing this on my side of town where it's literally a highway. But I think it's a great beginning to hopefully slowing down traffic on Alameda. So this is a project that I think a lot of folks will struggle with as construction goes and cutting down lanes go. But the reality is we have to slow down so we stop killing pedestrians. And this is a great way to start. Yeah. It's also a great way to do it without using surveillance cameras to just clock people's license plates. And I think we had a listener respond about this conversation about the cameras last week.
Yeah.
Like this is called a road diet. So doing more infrastructure work to change how people get around.
Yeah. And it's happening.
It's happening. I'm really excited about it. Please continue to go all the way down Alameda. Thank you.
I like this because Alameda, I mean, I think this is the part of Alameda that they're going to be changing, but it's really not nice to drive on because the 2 lanes, there's the one in the middle that's nice. Like flat and nice, but then there's the one on the side that's like really slanted. And I just always feel like a little bit like, it's just always uncomfortable.
18th is like that too. When you're going into downtown from City Park, it's like you're fully slanted because of how rounded the road is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like roads like that.
I don't like that. I want freeways that do circles around places I'm trying to get to, like these, like Alameda, or like there's like certain roads that end up acting where like we have too many people for the road, and it just, I go down Sheridan. I was like, how do people not die here every day? Like
Sheridan is
terrifying.
Yeah, my son's school is right off Sheridan, and I dread driving on it because I just get it. And if you go 35, which is mostly the speed limit, people just zip past you, pissed that you're going 35 miles an hour. So, well, this could be the beginning, maybe, of doing this with more roads. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, I'll go next, and then Joshua, you can close it out. But my win this week was just the most. This was the story that made me laugh the most this week. This is a fail for the Rockies, which is turning out to be one of the best ongoing. Like the fact that they're on pace for a historically bad season, it's like a train wreck. I want to watch. I want to watch the record get worse every day. It's so fun. But the story is, and this is a win for frustrated Rockies fans. The win goes to Timothy Rockel, who was in a luxury box at a Rockies game in 2023.
That's your bad, man.
When he was when he was hit by a foul ball and he suffered, quote, catastrophic and permanent injuries. Sorry to hear that, Timothy. But the win part is that he is suing the Rockies because. And normally sports teams not liable for injuries like this in the stadium, but he is suing the Rockies because, quote, the defendant, which is the Rockies, long-standing poor performance on the field has contributed to a game day environment in which spectators, particularly those in luxury suites, are less engaged with the action on the field.
Wait, wow. It's their fault he wasn't paying attention?
Because they're so bad.
Because they're so bad.
I have a feeling when you get your ticket, your Rockies ticket, it has something on the back that says you are signing up to potentially be hit in the face with a ball.
You are signing up to watch bad baseball, which may bore you, and you won't pay attention.
Yeah, the lawsuit is not going. He's not going to win the lawsuit, but
no,
probably not.
He's doing it for the articles.
Well, his lawyers are doing it for the paycheck or something. But how they're getting sued because they're so bad is amazing.
And the Monforts still don't care.
They don't.
They really don't.
Are there any drinking games in terms of watching a Rockies game and how bad they are? That's why I want people to start leaning into how bad the Rockies are, because it is historic. It's going to be the worst team in all of MLB history. You know what I mean? Like
but they have a gorgeous field and they've got great amenities, and that's why people still go.
This is Trump's America.
It's true. Sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Joshua, give us your win.
Yeah, my win is the Burning Man sculpture of Liberty is it's been put up in Aurora. I think this is cool. Anytime you have a monument to man's hubris in the middle of a field, I'm on board. All right.
Describe what this thing is. What is it?
It's a giant. It's like a giant. It looks like a skinny Statue of Liberty, I would say, like a snatch Statue of Liberty. No,
a Statue of Liberty, but hot.
Very shiny.
I didn't say hot. All right, I love a full bodied. That doesn't matter right now. But it's silver and it's tall. It's like 45. It's like 200 feet tall. I don't know how tall it is, but it's very tall and in the middle of nowhere. I love that because I like driving places and being, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? Down the thing. And then I love the poem Ozymandias. You know what I mean? It's just, we're all going to go back to the sand no matter who we are. And so we build these things to try to fight this idea that we're going to escape death, but none of us do. And that's beautiful.
Wow, you really went much further. I was just going to say I love public art and I like when it's polarizing. And I think this thing is hideous, but I'm stoked that it exists.
It's not. I don't know how I feel yet. I mean, this is the thing about it. We get to live with it, and it's going to become part of our experience of the city. We're going to have, I don't know.
More public art is great.
Yeah, more is better. More is better.
That thing.
Oh yeah, it has two hands on the flame instead of like one.
This might be influenced by my feelings about Burning Man being dumb too.
What's the Burning Man connection?
So
it's a piece that was there. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So Burning Man, they'll create art pieces as a part of the festival, and then they'll take them down, and because you're all supposed to like leave no trace as a part of the festival. So they created this, and then the permanent home is now in a field outside of a suburban subdivision. Right there.
I just kind of love. They're like, we took you from the beautiful playa and dumped you outside of Aurora.
That's right.
In the middle of a field.
Yeah. So people coming from the Eastern Plains, you know what I mean, can think about the liberty that they've escaped from Kansas as they come in. Give me all your Nebraskan and Kansan people. I mean, there's a reason why the cool ones moved to Colorado. All right.
Great.
That's a great win, Joshua. Well, that was a fun show, y'all. And like I said earlier, we want to hear from you too. If you've got wins and fails of the week, if you got takes on 16th Street.
Excuse me, if you have takes on the 16th Street Mall as well.
Or the mall, the historical period that was the 16th Street Mall.
Or Max going back to HBO Max, you know what I mean? Like, what website do I put in? Okay.
Oh my God, Kyle Clark made this joke.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Me and Kyle Clark are the same person.
On the same page.
Right.
That's my future best friend, Kyle Clark. Hey, you ever want to get a fancy beer, Kyle?
He likes fancy beer.
Hit a native up, all right?
The number to call is 720-500-5418. Again, it's 720-500-5418. That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. Our producers this week were Elizabeth Kama, Olivia Jewel Love, and me, Paul Karolyi. Adam Sage edits the video for YouTube. McKenna Harford writes our morning newsletter, Hey Denver. Abby Madigan runs our social media. Bree Davies is our host. Music this week comes to us from Sven Lindvall, Rob McAllister, Hip Color, and Los Mocochetes, with additional mixing by Tyler Lindgren. If you haven't already, subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at CityCastDenver, and tell the fine people at DNCO, who are $100,000 richer thanks to
the brand consultants.
Thanks to the rebranding.
What's their number?
Brand consultants. Yeah, tell them about us. You can sign up for our daily newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. Joshua, Bree, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, guys.
Hey.
See you next time, everyone.